So I'm excited to have Cory Johnson with Crow Executive Air joining us today on the Business Spotlight. And my name is David Dowdy. I own a local education, training, and business coaching firm, Action Coach Lake Norman. And again, Cory, great to have you on the call with us today. Why don't you kick off by introducing yourself and tell us a little bit about your company and the service that you provide?
Sure. Well, thank you very much for having me on the spotlight today. My name is Cory Johnson. I'm Vice President of Crow Executive Air. We're a private air charter company based out of Statesville, North Carolina, north side of Charlotte here, and we provide what essentially is Uber for air services for people in the area. So if you're looking to go from say the downtown Charlotte out to the beach for the weekend, or someplace else, we can put you in a private airplane. We serve over 5,000 different airports across the country. So we can get to a lot of places a lot faster than the airlines do. And we work on your time and on your schedule.
That is an awesome service. So,
Thank you.
so you've been in it. How many years have you been
Well,
in this
Crow
business?
Executive Air started in 1947, and it started off doing fishing charters and hunting charters and things like that, bringing people up around the Great Lakes and little seaplanes and dropped them off at hunting lodges and so forth. And grew out from there. They started working with the movie industry quite a bit, trying to get on location shots and things like that for the different movies that were filmed in the area at the time. And from there, we expanded into more formal, traditional chartering type of operations. We work with people, we work with hospital groups to bring people that are in need, also parts of people that are in need if we're doing organ transport, tissue transport, heart and lung, and that kind of thing, need to get to a transplant center, as well as moving, small cargo. And again, most of the time, people getting them to where they need to go for business or pleasure.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. So you've been doing it for a while now. Then and the
A little
company's been
bit,
around.
yeah.
If you had to start it all over again, man, what would you do differently knowing what you know now?
Well, for a new person starting out today, it's the things you want to pay attention to, of course, are making sure our foundational elements are in place. When you start off a company, you don't really know what you don't know, and you have to kind of grow over time. But making sure that we have a good pool of pilots available to us, make sure we have good foundational elements in place for all the bureaucracy you have to go through with the Federal Aviation Administration and things like that. Just make sure that you have all of your foundational elements in place, and you have maintenance services intact. You have all those dots, I's, dots, and T's crossed kind of thing.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So surely you've had some big learnings, and maybe that led into the previous comments, but what are some of the bigger
Yeah, it's
learnings that you've had being in business?
Well, when I came into this, I've been here for about 2 years right now, and I'd had a background in aviation. I've been a flight instructor for close to 20 years. I've bought and sold several aircraft on my own, but moving into the private air charter world, it's a new level of scrutiny by the FAA, and certainly you have to have that because of safety and make sure that your people have a comfort level that if they're going to get into your airplane and pay you for your service, that they're going to get to where they're going. Uh, but just getting used to how rigorous the inspection cycles are and how detailed they need to be with record keeping and so forth that was just a challenge to get used to.
Gotcha.
Certainly anytime you work with government, they're a regulatory agency. That's the definition of government, and we just have to learn to work with them and how they how they do what they do.
Well, the detail orientation comes in flying, doing the paperwork and all that's an added layer of it.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
exactly.
Yeah. So small business, mid-sized business. There's a lot of misconceptions out there about what it's like to be an owner of a business. What are some of those you've incurred, and how do you go about addressing them?
Well, awareness is just the size of the organization. A lot of people think, oh, you're an airline, you must be American or United or something like that. Well, no, we are a small business. We have about 15, 20 employees, depending on the day and how you count part-timers and that kind of thing. But we're a successful operation. We enjoy doing what we do, and just the thing that we get to people when we're talking to folks about taking charter versus whatever, there's a convenience factor, there's a level of service factor. A lot of people talk about the golden age of flying, right? Back in the 60s and the 70s, people get dressed up to go flying, right? It was
Mm,
the travel was as much a part of the experience as anything. And nowadays today, people think of air travel a little bit like going to, have a root canal or some other kind of, painful dental work. It's not the thing they look forward to on the travel, and we bring that back in. We have an ability with the security that you still are secure and all those things, but we have better ways of handling that. So when you show up at the airport, you pull your car right up to the side of the airplane. Your luggage goes from your trunk to the baggage compartment, and you step up inside the plane, and we roll up the stairs and we take off. So from the moment you get to the airport to wheels in the air can be 10 minutes, and that's pretty impressive. When you think about travel time, if you're going to go to the beach, like from Charlotte going to the Outer Banks, it's 4.5 hours to get to Kitty Hawk or to Wilmington or something like that, depending on, traffic and that kind of thing.
right.
We can have you in Wilmington in 35-40 minutes. And so you think about that, save 4 hours on either side of your day. You just add an entire extra day to your weekend. So it's a very efficient way to get a family or a business group or whatever at a distance that you're going to. And also have the travel flexibility, which is really nice. If you decide to stay an extra hour because some meeting ran long, or if you want to just, the game is, getting kind of one-sided, so you want to come home a little bit early, well, that's fine. We'll hop in the plane to get you home before the end of halftime if you want. We've done all those things.
Yeah.
And you cater the airplane how you want it to. I've had passengers that have called us, and they, on the way back to the airport, and they said, "Hey, can you have a pizza on the plane when we get there?" So we call around, and we had Domino's or whatever it was we found. It's usually something better than that, but we had something waiting at the plane for them when they came home, so they could tailgate in style on the trip back to the house.
Man, so a lot of customer service in that.
Yeah.
So you've obviously having a good run at it, been doing it for a lot of years. I think you said 1947 is so
Yep.
what do you attribute some of the growth to over the years or even the most recent years?
Well, the growth comes from just good marketing, good word of mouth. Obviously, we're moving into new areas. We've for the last 46 years, we were really focused around the greater Ohio area, and we moved into the Charlotte area about 2 years ago. So we still have a large presence in the Ohio area. Of course, we've been there forever, but getting into the new market, it's getting our name out, making sure people understand what we are, what we offer. And so it's constant level of just interacting with different people and letting people know the services that we offer.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So you personally, I mean, juggling the role that you have, I don't know if you still fly as part of this, but being the VP and managing it's always a balance of work life kind of thing. How do
Yeah.
you manage through that? And especially because much of your work is away.
Sure. Work-life balance. It's something that we would try and manage for everyone. One of the things that has changed that we try and do a little bit differently than a lot of other people. Small charter operators typically, they'll run their pilots on a 10-day on, 5-day off type of cycle or something along those lines, where you're just gone for a whole bunch of time straight. Being located here in the Charlotte area, that we actually have got a little bit different type of access to people, the types of travel that's done. So we're much more able to, send people out, get them on a trip, then bring our pilots home at night. So we are able to give a better work, real world experience for our pilots and our team members.
Getting creative.
And that's a big thing. If you're able to, it wears on you. If you're a road warrior and you're gone, 70-80% of the time, it's kind of hard to have that stable life and, come home and not have the kids yell stranger danger when you walk in the door. So it does help to be able to bring the pilots home, to bring the crews back, and we're very thankful for that.
Yeah, and that kind of assistance or helping the balance out for your pilots and the crew and whatnot certainly helps from a retention standpoint. So what are you looking for now in employees? Because that's a common theme these days is finding those key employees can be a challenge. What do you look for?
Well, we look for people that are dedicated to customer service, that they want to help a customer, people that understand the culture of safety that we have. We last year at in Florida at the National Business Aviation Administration, we received a 75-year flying safety award. We're the only charter operator to have received that award, and it was for 75 years of accident, incident, and injury-free flight. So it's it's a pretty big thing,
Yeah.
and it's a lot harder to maintain that than it is to get it in the first place. So we work pretty hard at that. So what we look for in people are safety, oriented pilots, people that are pilots that are willing to do what it takes to help the customer out. And you have to be flexible in what you do. You have to understand that we're there because of the passengers, not in spite of the passengers. And so it's that's something that we look for.
So that's great. Okay, so a veteran here, been around. What words of advice would you give to a budding entrepreneur looking to go out and create a business for themselves, getting going?
Well, for any business, if you're trying to get going, you have to realize that there's no such thing as 9 to 5, and there's no such thing as work-life balance. If you're a budding entrepreneur, businesses grow by the equity you put into it, and that's usually sweat more so than money. You have to be the most passionate person in the room when it comes to whatever it is that you're doing, and you have to be the ultimate cheerleader for the organization. Everyone has good days and bad days, but an entrepreneur can't have a bad day. You've got to be hey, the grass is always greener, the sky is always bluer, and better days are ahead. And you have to believe that, because other people see your motivation, your enthusiasm, and if you don't have that, if you don't express it every single day, yeah, it really affects everyone around you.
Very good. Okay. So as we wrap up, Cory Johnson with Crow Executive Air, what's the best way, if somebody wants to get in touch with you or find you to learn more, what's the best way to go about doing that?
You can reach us on our website, crowair.com. You can contact us through our 800 number. And as well, you can also email us. You can email me directly, Cory, Cory, at crowair.com, or at sales@crowair.com.
Very good. Well, Cory, I really appreciate you taking some time out today to be a part of the Business Spotlight series, and looking forward to getting the word out and helping you continue to grow your business and let people know more about Crow Executive Air. And man, thanks for everything you're doing in the community. Welcome to the Charlotte market. And now you've been here a couple of years, and yeah,
David, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thanks again. So look forward to talking to you all soon. Take care.